Congratulations on making it to your last yoga flow of this program. I am so proud of you for making it this far and really going through those challenges, pushing through to get to the growth and the destination of where you want to be. I know that things weren't always easy. However, this is just the beginning of your journey, and doing the hard work now will pay off and make life so much easier in the end, especially incorporating these tools that are beneficial not only to your body but your mind and soul. I know we've been working more on the foundation and our legs and support. Today we are going to be focusing on maybe encompassing more of the upper body, the back, the posterior chain, to really open up the heart and the throat and the crown area. So you shouldn't need any props. However, if you need blocks and you know your body, please do so. If not, maybe grab some water and grab your mats and I'll meet you there. So we are going to be starting in a child's position. So toes are together, knees are wide apart, and just allow your chest to melt down into the mat, your forehead rest. Feel the ground beneath you, and just take a moment to come into your body. Understanding the language of your body and what is it trying to tell you. What senses are you feeling, maybe within the ankles, the hips, the back? As you breathe, feel your belly. Where do you feel any sense of tension or blocks? Maybe your breath is pretty shallow and it only goes through your belly area, but see if you can expand that to your back, maybe your shoulders. And notice with each exhale, you can release a little bit more. Maybe incorporating that ujjayi breath, constricting the back of the throat. Feel your lungs expand like taffy. Observe the shifts as you connect with your body and your breath. And I want you to set an intention of this practice to really give it your all. What is it like to be so committed that you're willing to do anything to? What is your will, your power? What goals do you have that are worth all the risks and all the time and energy being placed upon it? What is fueling your heart? Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Slowly begin to press into your hands to come into a tabletop position. And at first we're going to start by activating the core. So we're going to do some limb extensions. So press into your right hand and your left knee, tuck those left toes, and begin to extend your right leg back by really pressing through your heel. Feel the glute being activated. Try to keep your hips as stable as possible, so press into that left knee. Simultaneously, as you press into that left knee, put more pressure on your right hand. Feel your core being stabilized, and then extend your left hand out in front of you. Become active within those fingertips so you feel the back shoulder being activated. Take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, hold your core tight as you bring your elbow to your knee. Inhale, extend out, and exhale, round the upper body. Inhale, extend. Really press into your outer extremities for support, using your core for support. And inhale, extend. Take one more. And inhale out. Slowly come back to that tabletop position. Again, feeling that core being activated, press into your right knee and the left hand. And then as you slowly drive through that left heel, hips are stable, extend that left leg back and extend that right hand forward. Find your core center, Feel where your belly button is, slightly tuck that in. And exhale, round your knee towards your elbow. Inhale, extend. Feel the support of your posterior chain, your back muscles, as you rise to extend your limbs out. Again, the body works as a unit, so we want to work it as a whole. What muscles can work together versus just isolating? Take one more. And slowly come back to that tabletop position. Maybe rock your hips from side to side. We're going to start with a dancing line. So walk your hands out in front of you a little bit. You start to drop the hips over towards the left. Round forward. Bring them to the right. And lift your hips back. And continue making big circles with your hips and really using your hips to lift yourself up so we're not sinking into those joints. What muscles will help you stop the process of sinking into your joints? Maybe pretending like you're balancing on a paddle board. And then when you're in that top position, start to switch the cycle. Rotating over towards your left now. And what shifts are being made within the body? Can you feel the momentum of the spine as we're starting to lubricate these joints, warming them up, warming up the core? Take one more cycle. And come back into that tabletop position. We're going to come into that hovering table, so tuck those toes. Knees are wide apart, hands are underneath the shoulders. Really protract the shoulders so you're trying to push the floor away from you so you're not sinking down, but you're creating a little round in the upper back. And then slightly engage the pelvic floor muscles, sucking in that belly button and lift those knees off the mat. We're going to hold here for a few. We're starting to activate the core, creating heat in the belly area, the solar plexus, which is your will. And then we're going to start to move that energy around to come all the way up the spine, allowing our vision to come into fruition. 3, 2, 1. On your exhale, straighten those legs and send the hips back and up for that downward facing dog. Really press the floor away from you, activating your shoulders, your lats, maybe even your chest muscles. Your biceps press forward as you press into the L and J space between your hands. And if you want to start walking out your dog, you can bend one knee at a time. Your heels don't have to touch, and that's okay, but just notice the sensations. See if you can suck your belly button in towards your spine, like you're slightly sucking in your belly. Coming back to that Ujjayi breath. Press into your heels. Feel as if you have a block between your legs, so your legs are pretty stiff and stable as you rock forward into that high plane. And then start to bend the knees as if you're coming into that hovering table. Send those hips back and up for a downward dog. We're going to continue to do more of these wave-like dogs. So start to round into that plane, coming onto your tippy toes, squeezing those glutes, lifting the pelvic floor muscles. Bend the knees slightly as you start to drag your hips back, and then straighten to that downward facing dog. Removing that fluid, that energy up the spine. Continue at your own momentum, your own rhythm of your breath. Feel the lats being engaged as you push yourself away. Take one more. Coming into plank, bend those knees. Send the hips up. And then this time we're going to come into a plank position. We're going to take a chaturanga or vinyasa flow. So really tuck those elbows in close to your body. Gently start to lower your chin, chest, knees, and slide up into that upward facing dog. Press into the tops of your feet. Take a deep breath in And exhale, coming onto our bellies, maybe coming into a Sphinx pose. So our elbows come down onto the mat, elbows underneath our shoulders, pressing our hands like we're trying to slide the mat from underneath us. Notice how this kind of helps you lift up from the head, the crown, and activating the back body. So feel the muscles, kind of like your wings on your back that are being activated. Your shoulders are being squeezed down and back together. Notice how that kind of helps relax the pelvis and the hip area. Pressing into the tops of the feet to help support the lower back. Take a deep breath in. And exhale to slowly come down. We're going to extend our hands out in front of us. We're going to do a few Supermans. So this means that we're going to be lifting our arms and our legs at the same time. So our thumbs point facing up. We're going to draw our shoulder blades down and back. Our chin can be, or our head can be lifted up. Squeeze the glutes and then start to lift the toes and the feet off the mat, and then press your thumbs all the way up. So we're creating a nice arch in the back, kind of like a boat position. The only thing on the floor is our core. And exhale to slowly release. We're going to do this about 3 more times. So really feel the movement stemming from your spine. All the muscles are being contracted towards the spine area, and the energy is releasing to the extremities. So think of a river flowing from your spine and it pours out into your hands, trickles down into your fingertips. Inhale. And exhale, begin to lift all those limbs off. See if you can go a little bit higher. 3, 2, 1. Slowly release to come back down. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale, begin to lift yourself off. Notice how on your exhale you engage that core. Feel the pelvis into the lower back. If you can't lift up that much, that's okay. As long as you're feeling those muscles being activated, exhale to slowly release. It's not how deep you can get into the pose. It's not how high you can lift off. I'd rather have you do it with good form. So again, tuck those shoulder blades down and back. Straighten those arms, so activate through those fingertips. And then start to reach up overhead. And then lift those toes up, squeezing those glutes. Engage your core. 3, 2, 1. Slowly you can exhale to release. Frame your shoulders with your hands so your hands are underneath your shoulders. Tuck the toes, and we're going to send our hips back and come into that child's pose. So toes together, knees far apart, or if you want to modify your child's pose, your knees can come together. Just allow the counteractive pose from that Superman. We're rounding the back now versus arching it. Notice what you feel in your hips. And this is great if you're on your phone or sitting at a computer often. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale out. Press into your hands and come into that tabletop position. We're going to press into that left hand. Inhale your right hand up overhead. Really try to keep your hips squared. And on your exhale, let's thread the needle. The right hand comes all the way underneath that left armpit. Drawing that left hip back so our hips are squared. If you want to extend that left hand out in front of you, or you can wrap it around, reaching toward your inner right thigh. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale out. We're starting to move that energy up the body, up the spine. And on your exhale, slowly release with control that left hand back down to the mat, pressing yourself up into that tabletop position. Going to do the same thing on the opposite side, and again, pretend like you're moving through honey or through water. You're moving with intention. So press into that right hand. You're gliding. Feel those back muscles being activated, and the back muscles help raise your arm, And exhale, your core and your chest helps you come into that.
Thread the needle, starting to lubricate the joints with the synovial fluid, allowing for better electrical conduction and for better movement. It's like oil to an old door, rusty area. And if you want to come into that modified position, you can extend that right arm in front of you, or you can wrap it around the back, reaching for the left inner thigh. Notice the shifts that are created within that left shoulder joint. And inhale, begin to release that hand.
And come back into that tabletop position. You're going to tuck the toes and send the hips back and up for that downward facing dog. Press into that left leg and then lift the right leg all the way up towards the ceiling. Really point your toes and feel that glute being activated, and that runs down all the way down your back for a three-legged dog. Begin to flex those toes so your foot is flat now. Bend that right knee and stack it over towards the left side so your hips are stacked on top of each other. Trying to square your shoulders here, so press into that left arm. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Start to square those hips and release that right leg down. Maybe pedal out your dog for a moment. And when you're ready, press into that right leg and send that left leg all the way up towards the sky, pointing those toes, really reaching through your right heel as well, activating that inner thigh. Press into the outer edge of that right ankle, then flex the toes and bend that left knee and send your left foot over towards the right to stack those hips. Squeezing your heel towards your glute. Feel the openness within the hips. You're almost there. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Engage that core to square those hips and release that left leg down to the mat. And begin to walk your hands to meet your feet for a forward fold. Maybe sway from side to side. Inhale, hands come onto your shin, halfway lift. Gaze is at the top of the mat, shoulder blades are down and back. And exhale, forward fold. You're going to inhale to slowly ragdoll your way up. Feel those hamstrings being activated. The roundness of your back. Shoulders go down and back. Take a deep breath in as you inhale and rise your hands up towards the ceiling. Again, our shoulders should not be lifted up, but squared down and back, being pinched together and slightly relaxed. Reaching through our fingertips, and notice that when we relax the shoulders, we engage the core. So we're tucking the ribs down. We're not having an arch within our pelvic muscles. So maybe you're like this, where you're arching the back. See if you can tuck those ribs, and that helps draw your pelvis in a little bit more. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, squeeze your glutes, start to bend back and bend your elbows for a football pose. Gaze is all the way up. Feel the posterior chain being activated. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Inhale, reach your hands back up and exhale, forward fold. What are you feeling within the back body? Can you feel the rise of the energy stemming from your belly area, rising up towards your shoulders? What are you willing to do for your goal? For that dream life that you want? What are the sacrifices that you're willing to take? What are you willing to let go of? Take a deep breath in and exhale to let it go. Slowly walk your hands back out into that downward facing dog. And then we're going to roll into that plank Really reach through your ankles to help support this movement. Draw those elbows in and slowly lower your chin, chest, knees, and rise up into that upward facing dog. And then come into a tabletop position. So lift those hips up, engage the core. Now we're going to come into a camel pose. So our knees are hip width apart. Come onto our knees. Now if you need a block here, you can always have that by your side. If you want to tuck your toes so you can reach for your ankles, you can also do that as well. We're going to start to squeeze the glutes and send the pelvis forward. This is as stable as our hips should be. If this is even a lot for you, you can stay here. Squeeze the shoulder blades down and back so our elbows are drawn in towards each other, not flaring out. Start to tilt your chin up. Notice how this activates the posterior chain. You can stay here or start to continue to bend backwards and then use your hands on your ankles, on the block for support, and really press your heart space forward and squeeze in those glutes as well, as that supports your lower back area. You can keep your gaze up or you can tuck your chin, whatever is more comfortable for you. But just notice the effects that you're feeling with the chest and the back body. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Open your heart space. How can you be open to receiving these goals and desires? Slowly walk your hands to your lower back for support as you come out of this posture. Being intentional with the movement and come into that child's pose. Your knees can be together or far apart. And just take a moment for your body to soothe this nervous system down. And notice the hard work that you've been doing. Maybe come back to that ujjayi breath, or maybe even a belly or a box breath. Feeling the lungs expand, feeling the space in between the ribs, the back body. Come back into your body. And what is your body telling you? Maybe it's to show you that you are stronger than you know. How do you know how strong you are if you don't put yourself through these challenges? How can you find what faith is or know what trust is if you don't take that opportunity? If you don't take that leap? If you stay in your comfort zone, how will you know otherwise? Slowly begin to lift your head off the mat and start to walk your hands over towards the left. Feeling a nice stretch on the right side of the body, keeping that right sit bone rooted onto your heels. If you want to sit on a block here, you can. Just allow the body to decompose, to really trust and surrender to the support of the floor beneath you. Take a nice deep breath in from the nose. And exhale out. Take a deep breath in from the nose. And exhale out. Slowly lift the head back up. Then begin to walk your hands over towards the right. Keeping that left sit bone rooted. Just notice the shifts in your body. Maybe even analyze where you were at the beginning of this month to where you are now. The skin that you've been shedding. And sometimes we really want our goal so bad that sometimes we don't even know what we're going to lose. What sacrifices and attachments that we have. And this is the point of surrendering. Surrendering to what is, what was, and what will be. Because everything is temporary. And once we achieve a goal, we always set another one. We're always going to be growing and improving. We're always going to be shedding our skin. So how can we embrace the present moment? How can we embrace the journey? Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Slowly walk your hands back towards center. We're going to press into our hands and come onto our backs, moving slowly as your body will allow. Our knees are bent, soles of the feet are on the mat. Just take a moment for your body to adjust itself in this pose. Take a nice deep breath. Not just acknowledging your body, but paying attention to the role, the function of each muscle or each joint, what your back does for you and your spine. It not only allows you to move and connects your lower body to your upper body, but it provides a house for your central nervous system. It's the highway system for your nerves, allowing them to connect to the extremities. So taking one final moment to really love your body. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, bring your knees towards your chest. Wrap your arms around them and just rock side to side. Massaging the lower back. Massaging the lower back, the internal organs, the digestive system, providing it all the nutrients that it's going to need, providing the energy and attention to these areas. Because remember, where attention goes, energy flows. So if we can give love to all these little cells and organs and functions, then how will that enhance our overall health and lifestyle? Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Slowly release your legs out all the way, your hands by your side, your feet naturally splay out. Just allow this whole month to integrate everything that you've learned, everything that you've experienced, that you've let go, that you incorporated. Just take a moment for yourself. And what did it feel like to honor yourself and put yourself first? And most importantly, what are your next steps? How can you incorporate a new routine for yourself? What do you want to continue practicing?
Begin to take a nice deep breath in from the nose and exhale out, slowly wiggling the fingers, the toes, gently awakening the body, maybe taking a nice deep stretch. And when you're ready, as slow as your body will allow, begin to come into a fetal position on either side. Keep your eyes closed, and as gentle as your body will allow, come up into a cross-legged seated position. Maybe place the opposite leg in front. With your eyes closed, begin to take a nice deep breath in and exhale, sigh it out. Words cannot express how proud I am of you for deciding to go on this journey, and not only by changing your light, but the lights around you. Just take a moment to really receive that and what that looks like for you. Hands come to Anjali Mudra, prayer pose in front of your heart space. Take a deep breath in and exhale, sigh it out. Thank you so much for following me and allowing me to be a guide throughout this process. I hope you enjoyed this journey and really received the transformation that you desired. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.